my friends, welcome back to the garden. Today I am tackling potatoes. While potatoes can be planted just a few weeks after our last frost date, I am actually popping mine into containers quite a bit later. So here in Seattle, we have literally had the coldest, rainiest spring I can remember. So I've pushed out planting my potatoes until actually the beginning of June. Now, I mention this because it is simply a great lesson for all of us gardeners and also a great reminder that even though we try to plan our growing calendar, Mother Nature always has the final say. Now, if you find yourself in a warmer climate, you're probably going to grow your potatoes as a winter crop with planting times that can range anywhere from late September through February. It really does depend on your region. So I always recommend that when you are navigating your own personal planting timeline, take a look at your city. Look it up online to find the approximate start date for your region. So today I want to show you essentially two different methods of planting. The first is using seed potatoes. I have purchased the variety Red LaSoda from my local nursery. To see how many plants I can actually produce off of each seed potato, I am going to cut mine into pieces. When you do so, you always want to make sure that you have a clean knife, and when you make your cuts, you want to inspect each potato to make sure that you have at least 2 eyes or growth points on each piece. Usually this means you simply are dividing your seed potatoes in half, but I kind of wanted to experiment this year and see how far I could push the envelope, and I'm cutting mine in quarters. Once these are cut, you are going to leave them to dry for about 2 days. This will allow the potato to form a protective outer skin over the area that you have just cut, and this will prevent them from rotting once you place them in the ground. The second planting I'm actually going to be doing is a complete and total accident, and quite frankly, I'm not surprised because this happens every year. I went down to the basement to pull out some summer items, and I discovered that I had accidentally forgotten the last of my potato harvest from last year in a bag down there. So clearly they have gone wild, and since they're so far along, I am going to simply plant them as is. As a city gardener, I have found that planting my potatoes in containers is actually the easiest way to grow and harvest my crop in limited space. I start by placing 6 inches of soil in the bottom of the container. I then lay out my potatoes, making sure I have about 6 inches between them. Lastly, I cover them with an additional 4 to 5 inches of soil. So you'll notice I have quite a bit of space left until I get to the top of my pot. What will happen throughout the growing season is that the potatoes will grow, and I will actually come back and continue to cover the stem, hilling up my soil until just the very tops of each potato plant are showing. I'm going to continue doing this until I have mounded soil all the way to the top of the container. To encourage the best possible crop, you're going to want to make sure that you're giving your potatoes consistent moisture and never allowing any of the tubers to become exposed to sunlight, so always keeping them covered with soil. You'll actually continue watering your potato plants through the flowering of the plant and until you notice your foliage begin to turn yellow and die back. Now, at this point, a lot of newer gardeners start to become concerned that they have done something wrong, and I am here to tell you that you do not need to be concerned. As long as your plant has flowered, the dieback is totally normal. And this is actually something to get super excited about because it means that you are nearing your final harvest. So after all of the foliage has died back, you need to wait at least 2 weeks, and then it is harvest time. Now, in my case, I simply lay out a tarp and dump out the entire contents of my pot onto that tarp. I certainly hope you have enjoyed today's video. I want to thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. My kids also informed me that I need to be encouraging all of my viewers to hit that like button and subscribe for more content from this channel. And quite frankly, my children are not wrong about this, so subscribe and follow along as I share more from my life in the garden. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time.